why it's really important to have a plan. Have a plan and understand what your goals are.
In fact, my camel out there is suffering right now with a broken back.
So I actually found Pepe when it was only a couple of hours old, and I'm like, oh, this is a funny meme.
Oh my god.
Yo! Who is this Degen?
The old man is swing trading over years at a time. And it's like, that's where the real money is made.
The answer is a permanent loss. With single-sided staking, you don't have to worry about impermanent loss.
And really, at the end of the day, it's just a matter of a macro market. It's just what happens.
If you're aware, if you're disciplined, you can hone that into further financial growth.
Financial freedom. So we can actually live life and not have to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, more or less, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Degen Roundtable Whiskey Wednesday edition. My name is Josh. We got Nate. We got Cass in the house tonight. Got sort of a skeleton crew rolling for the evening tonight, but nevertheless, it's going to be a pretty good time. We'll see what we can come up with conversation-wise, see what the panel's thinking about when it comes to the market and stuff like that. Nate, what's going on, man? How are you?
Oh, you know what? As you can tell based on my glasses, I have made a ton of money with this pump currently. Just all the ink. Oh my God, I made so much money. It is so awesome. Wow. If you don't like green candles, you can go away because we are going to the moon. Trump pump for life. Hell yeah, dude.
I like it. Yeah, kind of a Macho Man Randy Savage vibe going on there. I like it.
I don't know what I'm doing. I had my sunglasses right here. I'm like, hey, I wonder if I should just put those on.
I gotcha. Miss McGinnis, how you doing tonight?
Well, after that, I think I want a divorce. So, no, I'm kidding. Doing good. Dealing with finally getting over being sick. I've still had like some upset tummy things going on, and I think they're finally like figured out. So I've been trying to get back on the bike. I've done that for the last 2 days, so that's been great. And then I'm also trying to add in like stair climbers because we have stairs and just like in our house, and like there's no reason not to. So I'm trying to start setting a goal for that, to climb those at least 15 times a day. So there's 14 stairs, so it'll be like 210 stairs. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, getting ready for the Post 369 event. That's coming up very quickly. It's going to be here before we know it. So.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. You know, when it was just us three in the green room waiting behind scenes, I was like, okay, this is going to be like a date plus one, or this is going to be like couples counseling. So still trying to figure out what that vibe is looking like. Speaking of the Pulse 369, what are you guys looking forward to on it? Nate, are you speaking? Are you guys actually going out to Vegas? What are you guys going to be doing for it?
Yeah, actually, we're going out to Vegas. This will be the second time, or the second conference that we've gone to as far as Pulse 369. It's I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, New York was absolutely fantastic. You guys were great. Just everyone that I was able to meet there, that was amazing, quite frankly. But then, yeah, I am a speaker. I'll be on a panel. Can't remember exactly what the panel was called. I think it had to do with the community. Just kind of talking about that, which I do believe is vitally important. I got a lot of strong opinions about the community and how important you all are. Really, truly. I love you all. So, yeah, I know Randy Hilarski, he's going to be on that panel with me, and a couple of others as well. I would have to pull it up to remember exactly who it is, because they're still trying to like figure out exactly where everyone's going to be, and there's some slots still available and things like that. And they're still setting everything up, but definitely looking forward to it. So, heck yeah.
Cass, is this going to be your first time in Vegas?
Yes, I will.
What are you looking forward to the most? You're going to be hitting the slot tables. You're going to be checking out the lights. What are you looking forward to the most when it comes to Vegas?
Seeing it. I've heard so much about it. I've seen so many movies and stuff that have it in there. I've never seen it. It sounds insane. Just the ideas I've got in my head are so far out there. I bet it's going to be a little bit disappointing compared to like what my brain is making it into. But still, it's going to be really cool just to get out there, just to see it, just to say I've been there. And I don't know about gambling. I think we're a little bit going to be spending, quite a bit of money to get there, and I don't think we'll have taxes in time to have like, hey, here's money to blow. But next time for sure, because hopefully there will be more times.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw you went on mute there real quick. If our members, if they wanted to get tickets to Pulse Chain 369, we do have a discount code for them, right?
Yes, we do. Okay, so our discount code is super easy. It's Degen. And if you go into our YouTube video description here, near the bottom, you'll find a link to the website to go buy your tickets. Actually, I might need to update that because they just informed me a few days ago that they changed something since they made the first link. And so I don't think it works anymore. But either way, it's just Pulse 369. If you search it on Google, you'll be able to find it. Pulse 369 conference. It's on the Pulse Chain Tour website. Go in there, buy your tickets, and code Degen gets you 10% off. The only thing it doesn't work for is the golf course, but any of the like regular tickets, so the VIP, the normal one, whatever suits your fancy, all of those 10% off with just code Degen.
Sounds good. And Nate, is there anybody else from the team that's going to be speaking, or is it just going to be you? Is Zenith going to be speaking also?
Yeah, Zenith's going to be speaking as well. So I think he's going to be on a panel with Nuclear Herbs, if I'm not mistaken. So looking forward to that. Clearly.
Yeah.
So how about you though, Josh? What's been new in your life?
I don't know, man. It's with the new year comes new responsibilities, I guess you could say. I don't really want to dox what I do full time, but things are going to be ramping up here work-wise for me coming up over the next couple months. I mean, I know you guys know what I do. So I'll sort of cryptically say that I'll definitely be going into DC a lot more often, and work's about to pick up a little bit more. And, as you pay attention to the Senate confirmation hearings and all that stuff, the more cabinet officials that get selected, the more caseload that I'm going to be coming down the road. So, just balancing that. And, I started a new workout routine in November that's been going pretty well. Pretty exciting. I'm going down to Florida this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm a huge NASCAR fan, so I'm going down for the Daytona 500. I've been going every single year since 2018, I think it is. So that'll be a good time. Spending Friday night in Orlando. Going to go bar hop Disney Springs and then drive on over to Daytona. Yeah, and then doing a Cirque du Soleil show there in Disney Springs, so that's going to be pretty fun. And then driving over to Daytona on Saturday, meeting a couple friends in town there, and then just sort of hanging out until Thursday, going to the race on Sunday. Definitely going to be pouring some alcohol down my throat, so I'm looking forward to that. But that's pretty much what I got going on. The team itself, though, has been crushing. I know Dace did a video yesterday in the Telegram, and I think did Jay do 2 live streams in the Telegram exclusive only?
Yeah, he did 2 of them today. And for anybody here who doesn't really know what the Telegram Tuesdays are, usually we do one show, a private show, a week in our Telegram, which you can get into right down there, DRT join now. And basically the guys, they go over the most important news, macro news, and kind of where to see, as well as charting TA. But from there, we can kind of start seeing what it is that's going to be happening in the markets, if we're going up or down, and just what to look forward to in the future. It's extremely valuable content. So if you are not in our chat, getting in there, watching whenever they're doing this, you need to be getting in there now. We have that QR code. Just simply put your phone up there. Bam, you're in. And to be fair, in truth and reality, what is actually happening right now is because there's a lot of news that's coming out. Jay has been just every time there's something super important that happens, he just gets on live, and it's just they're exclusively for Telegram members. So yeah, like I said, hop in there if you want that secret alpha. You need to get into it.
Definitely, for sure. Good shout out there. All right, let's go ahead and transition over to some chat shout outs. It's one of the best parts that we have about our show. Absolutely love it. So, Cass, let's go ahead and get them rolling. The first one that we have up, Centurion54X. What up, Degen? Shout out, Centurion. He sent that at 6:12 p.m., so an hour and a half before we even went live. So, shout out to Centurion. I know he's usually pretty solid to being the first one in the chat as soon as we get that thumbnail up there. Up next, we got X-Ray 0X. Sup, Degens? What's going on? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Is it Sray or S-Ray? I'm not sure. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct. Glad you could join us. Hopefully you find tonight's content pretty good. Next up, we got Brendan in the house. Shout out, Brendan. Good to see you, man. Here we go. Pump it up. Man, we've had a couple good we've had some good solid green candles over the last couple days. So definitely, hopefully we can get some more pumps going. What we got up next? Let's see here. We got Moonpilled Rational Optics in the house. We got a Chad in the house. Shout out Moonpilled. Is he talking about your sunglasses there, Nate? Is that what he was talking about?
I'm just gonna go ahead and assume because I was being a crypto bro, dude.
I like it. All right, next up, and we got KG with the $5 super chat. Shout out KG. He's giving you a shout out there, Nate. Saying good to catch up with you. So KG, we appreciate you watching, man. We're I know we're all fans of your stream, so big shout out there. Hopefully it would be good to get you back on stream here sometime soon. That'd be pretty awesome. All right, next up,
thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. What we got up next? Is that nope? We got West in the house. Damn, my first check for my job cannot come fast enough to DCA into Hex and PulseX. Shout out there, yeah, for sure. It's definitely good to have a solid DCA structure in place. Absolutely 100%. What we got up next? We got Brendan again.
This is talking about your job. He's revealing your secrets.
Oh yeah, yep. I'm a dancer at a local pub. That's right. Yep. Brendan knows all the secrets. Last but not least, we got Hexagon Lost in Asia in the house. What up, Degens? Good to see you, man. Loyal listener right there. We appreciate the shout outs there. All right. So Nate, I mean, we hopped on here, Whiskey Wednesday. It's kind of a free and open forum. Do you have anything specific on your mind that you sort of want to talk about at all? Is there anything that's popping out in your head? I don't really have anything, so to speak. I mean, I could come up with something, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to check with you. I want to check with Cass. If you guys have anything on your minds before we sort of start freeballing this thing, we can definitely do that. Nate, what did you have on your mind? Anything?
Yeah,
specific?
so there's a couple of things. So as you know, the Hex OA wallet, right, staked out the Hex. Apparently, getting more information into it, the Sacrifice wallet staked out Hex as well. So there's a couple of problems with this, and I can get into some details about what's happening here. But now you guys know my stance on the PDI pegging, right? And how it can be possible, right? Versus is it going to happen? Is it not? Quite frankly, with the OA straight up just staking that Hex out for 15 years, that right there is a confirmation to me that it's not going to peg. However, I thought that's because it was all of the supply of Hex that RH owns. And it is very true that would have been the case. Now, Decentralized Me, 9 Iron Capital, and them, they started talking about encapsulating the native stakes to be able to put that into the P-Maker vaults, right? Okay, the problem with that, number one, is the native stakes for Hex are immutable. They're a finished product. Okay, you're not going to add something in. But there's also a clip of Richard Hart saying that he already finished the code for that, which is weird. And that started the question now of, wait a minute here. Does that mean does that mean that he is going to be making like kind of like a new Icosa, like Hedron Icosa? Is he going to be making a new one? That doesn't make much sense though if Alex has already made it, right? But then it always has to be like a third-party system that's going to be kind of like wrapped around it. So this is extremely difficult. I'm not exactly 100% sure about that. I also was asking the question, has anybody read the code to see if it was in there? I haven't really gotten an answer on that either. Aside from no, but that's also people who don't believe in the pegging. However, there's something else to it though. Now, the basis, he needs about $22 billion to put into the vault and able to peg PDI. And right now, for the OA wallet alone, he's got about 5 billion roughly in Pulse X as well as Pulse. Okay. He also only used technically half of his total supply of Hex, which would be another 10 billion. So that would be another 5 if he used half, right? So he doesn't need the stake. Well, that right there would be 15. If he needs 22, in truth and reality, to over collateralize, he really only needs a 2x on the market cap of all 3 of these coins. Okay. But he could technically just only use Pulse and Pulse X, and then he just needs a 3x on those as far as market cap goes, right? So one of the big things that he could possibly do and able to achieve this, and this was kind of the idea from originally, was when ETH hits $71,000, the SAC wallet is going to have enough funds to be able to pump these things the ecosystem of just Pulse and Pulse X quite a bit. And that should be enough to be able to peg it, and get everything working.
$71,000 ETH though. I mean, that's probably what, 2 or 3 cycles away, I would imagine. Wouldn't you think?
Oh, sorry, 7,100. My bad.
Okay.
7,100. I was thinking of 7,000, but I was like, wait a minute, no, you have to add 100 to that. Sorry, I'm twisting my own brain over here.
So yeah, I mean, 7,000 is definitely, an obtainable goal for this market. Absolutely, for this cycle, 7,000. That's why I was like 70,000. I mean, we're all right. I guess we're talking in like 2030s. That that could work, but. Yeah, I mean the big thing with me, the OA, what did he sack, like 90% of the Hex? That was it 90% that was staked out of the OA wallet?
95.5 or 95.7.
Yeah. So you have to sort of ask yourself, why now? Why now would that be staked? What could be coming around the corner? Why now? And if you want to, assume that the OA is Richard Hart, would it be money related? I wouldn't think it would be money related. Why? What would be the purpose behind doing? What would be the purpose behind staking? Those were the 2 questions that when that news broke, when word started trickling out about that, that's ultimately what I thought. Is it money? I don't think it would be money related. Now that's assuming that the OA is Richard Hart. We definitely don't know who the OA is, but if you want to assume that it's Richard Hart, obviously I wouldn't think it would be money related, but why now? Do you have any theories there?
So one thing that's vitally important, right, is from this month into March and April is supposed to be alt season wave 1. That's where the rotation begins out of Bitcoin. It goes into should be starting with ETH, right? But then goes into the rest of the alts, and this is where things massively pump, right? Now, because of that, I think, well, let's just say because of ETH, the entire crypto industry kind of had maybe major crash, and everything's red, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, the cycle's over. It's broken. It's not going to happen anymore." Because everyone was waiting for alt season, right? And traditionally, you can start seeing the beginnings of that in January. But something always kind of like a hiccup tends to happen, and then it goes wrong. So because it just went and crashed horribly, a lot of people are kind of giving up, and that PTSD from the scam cycle, which was last cycle, has kind of taken over for everyone. Well, I think Richard Hart sees this as an opportunity. Now, I know he wants to be part of alt season wave 1, so obviously he was going to pump the price anyways. However, I think he doesn't necessarily want to, I mean, he can't really be using things like pumping via the SAC funds. He can't really do that yet. He needs to wait for ETH to go up on that one. So I think what he was doing is he was using new methods, different methods, that where he didn't actually necessarily have to use the dollar amounts of coins he already has to pump the price. Instead, he can use other types of mechanics. In this particular case, he slashes the inflation or the yield amount that you get on the Pulse X farms. Okay, so he slashed it by 10x, which brought it from freaking, what was it, like the Pulse X one was at like 10%. Okay, and now it's at like 1. So he's obviously clearly telling, and then 50% after that, but he's obviously clearly telling people, get out. I want you to get out of those farms. Okay, stop providing liquidity, get out. Now, the reason for that is if you're providing liquidity, obviously that means that you can't pump it as hard because it's a lot heavier. There's a lot more coins in there, okay, like dollar amounts. So he's telling people, get out of the farms, stop providing liquidity, right? And I need it to be really nice and small. I need to be super volatile so that way I can do a thing. And so he did that. But then along with the Hex, and that was it, right? So along with the Hex, I don't 100% know the mechanics on it because it's extremely complicated. And I know I've seen like Walrus have to put in the PDF of how the T-share works twice now in our chat because there's been a lot of talk about it. So I'm going to kind of generalize it. But basically, he staked out so much Hex that the inflation rate for Hex, aka the APRs that you get out of staking, were also massively slashed. And because of that, people are not encouraged to stake. And I'm not 100% sure on the mechanic of how it makes it pump, but because he was slashing it, that right there was it just automatically causes it makes Hex more rare because he's soaking in all that extra all the extra T-shares, which, by the way, once T-shares are used, they go away forever. Okay, so he's used up those T-shares. He's sucking in all the inflation himself, for the yield. And Hex is a lot more rare. Because it's a lot more rare, obviously price is going to go up, and it's a supply shock ultimately. So that's the reason why he ended up staking him. The thing that I don't really understand, and I'm really waiting for, is the 7-day stakes. I don't get that. So this 50% of the supply that he had, right? Half of the OAs went for 15 years out. The stuff in the SAC funds, he just put in for, can't remember how many T-shares he got, but it was a lot. It was like 399 billion overall, or 360 billion Hex, and that stuff he's rolling for 7 days, which is wild to me. What is he going to be doing? So I really don't have any theories on it currently, but there is some possibility, or it is possible that he's doing this to, number one, with the 15-year stake, people can no longer say, oh, he's a scammer. He has 95.7% of the total supply. He owns it, so he's just going to dump on you, right? People really can't say that anymore because it's all locked away. I could see that being something, right? Especially if he's trying to reach the broader crypto community. He can't just do that outrage marketing anymore. So there's that angle. The other angle is if he emergency end stakes, not only does he provide a ton of yield for everyone else, but 50% of that yield goes straight back to the OA wallet. So perhaps that's a thing that he's trying to do right now, which would be kind of interesting because that means that he could technically peg PDI easier if he's trying to gather in more hex, right? But again, if we look at it like he's trying to keep the hex staked out 15 years, if he's trying to keep that, but now he doesn't have enough hex to peg PDI, what's he going to do? Well, he'll just stake it and gather more, and maybe he's done the calculations, the math, he knows what he needs to do and able to gather up enough, and then how much he can pump it after that, right? So there's a lot of interesting stuff happening. I'm definitely looking forward to what he's going to be doing with this 7-year stake for sure, or 7-day stake, sorry, for sure. Because it's a bit wild to me that he's doing 7 days, right? I could understand the 15-year thing, makes sense. But yeah, and so that's that side of it. And as much as I wanted to say the PDI narrative is completely fake and it was confirmed, the fact that, and it was funny because I was talking with Abdul and I was like, well, the fact that he just staked it all out means I can guarantee it's not real. But I would change if he only staked out like say 50% of it, then I would still be kind of up in questioning if it was actually going to happen or not. And it was hilarious because I found out later that yes, he did actually only stake 50% of it 15 years out, which was kind of scary on my end. I'm like, oh wow, okay, well that's a thing. So very, very interesting. That's one thing that I'm looking at. Another thing that I've been looking at too is the others chart. The others chart is very much disappointing me because it looked like we were heading up, and it was odd because a few days or about 2 weeks ago, I actually made a video that unfortunately it was bad. I just had to delete it, so I'll make a new one. But I made a video explaining about the alt seasons and or at least what I think is going to be the alt seasons, and kind of how I think they're going to work. I think this alt season wave 1 is going to be a muted top, right? It's not going to be as fantastic as they usually would be. But then it's just freaking others is pissing me off because it keeps dropping more and more and more. And in that video, I said, we have to start moving up now. And we ended up getting we actually had 2 weekly candles, and now it's just been red. Just red. And I thought, okay, we were about to head up, but
now when you say others, you mean other market cap, like market cap other than Bitcoin and Ethereum? Is that what you're talking about?
Excluding the top 10. Yeah. So Bitcoin and then the top 10. So excluding them. What's important about that is you also exclude the stable coins. It's important to exclude those if you want to really get a true sense of what the alts are doing, because otherwise you got stable coins that are literally just holding it nice and steady.
I gotcha. Yeah, good thoughts there. You know, that's definitely something to think about. We've had some pretty good chat engagement. I want to do another round of chat shout outs real quick, and then I want to move over to Cass, ask her a question. But Cass, let's go ahead and do some another round of chat shout outs. Let's get that in. So what do we have? First one up, we got KG with another $5 super chat. He said, I DoorDash. I set it to automatically go to my crypto at the end of each shift, so I can touch it. So I can't touch it except diamond hands. Good stuff.
Yeah, real quick. This is not KG internet wallet. This is KG or Kevin. He's a friend of mine, and we speak often over Telegram.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, I appreciate you clarifying that. Yep, wasn't sure, so appreciate it. Good stuff. All right, what we got up next? Looks like we got Crypto Compassion. Hey, y'all. Good to see you, Crypto. Good to see you here, hanging out with us. We appreciate the viewership, man. Definitely. What we got next? We got Mr. Rock Jockey in the house. Whiskey for my friend. Shout out. I'm drinking some Jack Honey over here. Nate, are you working on anything?
Yeah. So
you got the The Tito's.
I've got myself a little bit of Stella, and then
Okay.
you know me. I do have it on. I have it on standby. The Tito's. But yeah, my work ran a little late. I literally arrived 30 minutes before the show at home,
Gotcha.
so I didn't 100% have time to get ready.
Shout out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm working on some jack hunting myself. If you guys see my screen blackout here in a little bit, it's because I got to get a refill. But that's a little bit of admin notes there. But all right, Cass, what we got up next? Let's see. We got Agent Jay in the house. Shout out Agent Shay. Those stakes in today, the 7-day ones. So yeah, the 7-day stakes that you were mentioning, they in today. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what the plan is with that, what the reason was for that. So next we got Swing Trade Pros saying, yo, Swing Trade Pros. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you viewing. And last but not least, is that Sigwolf? Am I pronouncing that correct?
Looks like, yeah, Sigwolf.
Yeah, something like that.
Sure.
OA staking doesn't affect T-share rates specifically. It absorbs the daily inflation payment, reducing eventual payout to non-OA stakers.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember there was a lot of discussion back and forth about like the T-shares versus the payouts, and yeah, I was a little bit busy to be able to dive into it too deeply. I got other stuff I was researching.
Gotcha. Yeah, we only have so much time, so for sure, understandable. All right, Cass, I'm going to bring you in here. You've been kind of quiet a little bit. Do you have anything on your mind? Anything specifically? Are you seeing anything in your communities that points back to crypto at all, or is there anything on your mind at all?
Well, this is sort of related, but also sort of not. I've actually seen quite a few people in the Pokemon community who are doing both, kind of crossing into crypto. They say it's really similar, and I've been kind of looking at some of the charts, and I can kind of see what they mean. So I'm hoping that maybe we can see some more of that, because the Pokemon community has gone back and forth for a while now. And back when COVID hit, it went through the roof. Everything went crazy, and I'm not really sure why, but that seems to be happening again. And it's not a good thing, because the people who tend to get into this and invest heavily in it are usually like the people who don't know how to make money anywhere else. So they're kind of like, the desperate people, like a lot of people who are jobless, sadly, will try to get into Pokemon thinking that they can make a lot of money. And then they get in fights with people. And like when this happened last time, Target stopped selling cards for a while because somebody pulled a gun on someone else, like in the parking lot. So yeah, that's been fun. But it makes me sad, because I see all these people who are just like obviously in this position where they don't know how to make money, and they're just desperately trying to grasp at anything they can. And this seems like an easy out for them. And I just wish I could take them and grab them by the shoulders and shake them and be like, dude, crypto exists. You have so much more potential there, and you don't have to deal with all this drama, and you can get the hell out of my hobby. You know what I mean? So
what would the correlation be between the Pokemon community and the crypto community? I mean, can you think of anything off the top of your head?
From what I've kind of been looking at, which is not a ton, but the charts actually look pretty similar. And I guess the way that you can, how Jay does his TA, I guess they do things that are similar like that with Pokemon. So they try to predict what's going on, like with the new sets that are coming out, and kind of how the market's going to work, and what are the best cards to get. And those are either like the most popular cards, the most popular Pokemon. So obviously like Pikachu, Charizard, some of the ones that come to mind right away, or anything that can be used in the game that's going to, really affect the meta of the game. So people will go over those charts. I've seen a little bit of that happening. I've actually seen a lot of people popping up on YouTube who are starting to get into the Pokemon investment scene, and they're trying to kind of do what we do. They're trying to educate people about it. So that's been really interesting. And one thing that one of my friends talked about a lot when it comes to collectibles in general is, I guess they tend to have, they don't follow normal market trends. So how stocks is, there's a bunch of people who can easily predict what's going on with that. I guess with collectibles like this, it tends to have a weird sort of buffer, where when the economy's bad, these can still do really good, because most of the people who collect these things have a lot of money, and they just kind of do whatever they want. So I guess it's volatile is what I'm getting at. And that reminds me, a little bit of kind of what you're looking at with crypto. You can never really fully say yes or no to like any one thing. Like you can always get a curveball in there. You know what I mean?
See, when you asked that question, Josh, the first thing that came to my mind was gambling. I mean, think about it. You buy the packs, right? And you're like, do I get the most expensive card in this? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. My voice is going out here. Pokemon has a ton of that. God, I forgot what you said, honey. Say that again.
Gambling.
Yes. Okay, so yes, there's a ton of that in Pokemon. So like you buy the packs, it's literally gambling. And you just never know what you're gonna get. The one thing with Pokemon that's like kind of a guarantee though, I guess the fallback is it's if you keep the thing sealed, like if you don't open the stuff, it is always guaranteed to go up at some point. Like eventually it's going to. Unless we have like some, apocalyptic type event where it becomes completely irrational to collect these frivolous things, which could always happen. I mean, technically, this is just literally junk. It's not going to keep you alive. So there's always that. But for the most part, it's been interesting because I joined a Reddit investing thing, and that's where I've been seeing some of this stuff popping up. There's these people who are like, oh, there's this is so much like crypto, or Pokemon's a lot easier than crypto. I've seen that one too. But yeah, I guess there's a bunch of people who are kind of starting to get into both, which is cool.
One of the things too that I was thinking about, this was so the first one I thought was gambling. That's the first thing that came to my mind because that's just funny, but it's also kind of true as well. The second one though is actually NFTs. So what's interesting about NFTs is that ultimately, like what it originally started as is just like a bunch of JPEGs, right? JPEGs that could only be owned by one person at a time, and there's a receipt to it, right? Non-fungible token. But the thing that is interesting is they're starting to use these more and more as like some kind of real world asset type of deal. And so I wonder if there's going to be like some sort of authentication NFT that's going to end up happening with, these Pokemon cards, as like, hey, these are the real Pokemon cards. These are not fake ones, right? Something like that, maybe, possibly, which maybe not. They would want to do that, but I do believe a lot of the world's institutions right now are really looking into real world assets and what's extremely heavy into trying to real world assets and trying to tokenize real things that are out here. And I do believe NFTs are going to be a major part of that. And yeah, I could see something like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever, sports cards could legitimately they could use that. Maybe make like digital versions of them. That'd be interesting.
I'm going to jump on that really quick, Josh, before you get into introducing our new person here. They're kind of already starting to do that, honey. There's a new company out there that's grading with AI, and there have been a few of them that have popped up, but so far none of them have really done well. But this brand new one, they're doing something a little bit different, and they're etching the grades and information directly onto the slab, and then they also include a QR code where you can scan this QR code. You can pull it up on their website, and it'll tell you exactly why your card got whatever grade it got. And I think kind of what you're describing, it's heading that direction because that company's getting really popular really quick.
Good stuff. Good conversation. All right. Before we bring him in, Cass, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching, we're open. So if you guys want to hop on the stream, feel free to. We're going to be popping somebody on right now. We got Professor Know-It-All popping in on screen with us right now. So good to see you, man. We appreciate you hopping on, streaming with us. But yeah, for those that are watching in the chat, if you guys want to hop on stream with us, feel free to click the link and jump on board into the green room, and we will get you in. Professor, what's going on, man? How's life going?
Life is going. I got two little ones that are both sick right now, so it's been a little hectic. But such is life, right? 2-year-old and a 7-month-old. One of them just got croup. The other one has a flu. Fun times. Knock wood. I haven't gotten sick, but who knows? Usually it takes your body about 2 weeks to break down. Hopefully I don't get any of that shenanigans. Aside from that, life is good. maybe you guys don't know me or what I do, but I am stay-at-home dad these days. I've been stay-at-home dad for over a year, full-time trading. I've been trading since 2017, but I kind of kept like a day job for a while, but now I'm just full-time. And just a little bit about me. I have my own trading community. I hang out a lot in DJ protocol community, a lot about pulse chain stuff. I'm actually heavily involved in it myself because I understand a lot of the mechanics of what's happening with these assets, and a lot of the liquidity bonding and all that fun stuff that's about to go down here in the next month or two from what I'm seeing. So
gotcha. Cool deal. Yeah, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I'm going to real quick.
Sure.
What are you seeing in the market? What's on your mind? What are some things we can look forward to? And ultimately, what are you seeing? What's going on currently?
So we just had a pretty big capitulation event. I think it was a forced short selling event to bring asset prices down so big institutions could buy. So it was basically manipulated down on purpose because of a liquidity issue. And you can basically see that if you're looking at the tether chart, you could see what I'm talking about. I can show it later, the big wick. But good things. I think the next 3 to 6 months here are going to be pretty solid. A lot of these, even major meme coins, even the AI agent sector, all of them got major retracements. They all did their first waves. We had a bunch of ABC corrections, 90% drawdowns. They're all in the buy zones right now. Any smart retail investor or even institutional investors is buying that stuff right now because they're all on sale. And Bitcoin just sitting up here above 92K, just consolidating. And I think Bitcoin is going to continue to consolidate up here for the next maybe month or two. And the reason being is I think we're going to see a bit of an alt run, at least a relief rally, I would say, a bit of a relief rally. And especially the really wrecked altcoins, specifically Ethereum, I would say the ratio. If you look at the ratios, Ethereum is a huge buy versus Bitcoin right now. And all the institutional money is after picking up ETH. They don't really give a shit about low cap coins, or they care about XRP or like HBAR or some of the major ones that have association with a lot of the centralized institutions, banking institutions. HBAR is involved with a lot of their node holders are actually like large corporations. So
I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I want to ask you a question. Then Nate, I want to get your opinion also. I'm glad you brought up ETH. Why has ETH been dragging ass?
Has a lot to do with the inflation on the token. Or was that who's asking him?
No, I'm asking both of you guys. Yeah, Professor, if you want to go first, and then I want to sort of get Nate's opinion on it also. In cycles past, we've seen Ethereum typically will, break its all-time high 3 to 4 months after Bitcoin does. That's happened like in the last 2 cycles. Also, now, of course, not every cycle is the same. We saw Ethereum bottom out 6 months prior to Bitcoin, in this past bear market. There's definitely something different going on, but will Ethereum bounce back, and what's going on with it? Like, is there a powder keg underneath it to where it's just going to blow through the stratosphere, or is it going to be a slow grind up and maybe some of the gains that we could anticipate in Ethereum just aren't going to happen this year?
No, they're going to happen in a big way.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because if you look at the ETH Bitcoin ratio, we'll look at it later. But essentially, it's so wrecked that it's never been this wrecked on the monthly RSI ever in the history of ETH Bitcoin. The other reason why we haven't really seen ETH rally is because a lot of the liquidity has been moved in the earlier part of the cycle was moved into meme coins and a lot of the other alts that AI agents took a lot of the liquidity out of the market. The reason why we're going to see this run on ETH right now, this is an institutional run. This isn't retail. Retail can't pump ETH. Okay, they don't have enough capital to do that. So they could pump these stupid AI coins, retail, like $100 million, $50 million. Yeah, they can pump that stuff. But billions of dollars? No. Yeah, a concentrated amount of people can pump a meme coin. We've seen some $1 billion valuation meme coins already this cycle, right? Several of them. But I still think that there is major hedge funds that are involved in those memes. This is not all retail. In fact, I think there's a lot of retail that is not even in this market. If you look at some of the metrics, okay, like if you go look at Google Trends, you go to trends.google.com and you search Bitcoin. What's that number at? It's like in the 20s. Like retail isn't really in. We haven't had FOMO in this market. Any real FOMO, I should say. I think we're going to get into that. That's coming next. This is the phase 4 of this run. How this ends is yet to be determined. I don't think the Fed is going to be cutting rates, maybe more so than they already have. I don't think we're going to see QE anytime soon, which is also why I don't think we saw an alt season maybe start a few months earlier than past cycles. We had QE, and that kind of drove liquidity into the market. But what I do think we have going on right now is we have a wrecked repo, and there is going to be some sort of QE that plays a factor here, and that is going to drive liquidity back into the market. We can also look at global liquidity. I'll show you that too later on.
Yeah, actually, an interesting indicator to look at is actually the Russell 2000. So
the low cap
Russell
stocks.
2000, Yep. Low cap stocks. Ultimately, for people who do not understand what the Russell 2000 is, think of it as kind of like the alt or shit coins of the stock market. It's basically it. It has a tendency 4 out of 4 cycles. It has a tendency to have its own major pump up first, and then the crypto alts will pump highly after that. And unfortunately, Russell has been reminding me quite a bit of ETH, which you do need to understand that ETH is on its 3rd cycle curse.
Yep.
It's acting quite a bit like every other 3rd cycle curse, with the one exception being Doge. But here's the thing. Even Bitcoin had its 3rd cycle curse.
Double top.
Yes, double top. But here's the crazy thing. If you actually go and look at the patterns on the charts, what always happens every single cycle is you have kind of like a blow off top. It drops back down, then it'll come back up a little bit, right? And then that's when the bear market happens. Now, if you were to take the overall percentage pump on every single cycle on that blow off top, and you take it and you start looking at how much it shrinks, right? Diminishing
5.3 roughly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you start seeing how that shrinks. Technically speaking, last cycle we should have hit right around 90,000, 94,000, kind of in that range. I used to have it, but I'm just at this point, I'm just throwing it out there. Okay, so why didn't we hit it? Well, we had China banning Bitcoin. That's a big economy that is going to ruin things. But we also had scams going on like freaking FTX, dumping Bitcoin in the background, right?
Manipulating price, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so even that, like if you look at that was the 3rd cycle for Bitcoin, and we had that muted top. All right. Now Ethereum is in its 3rd cycle. Look what it's doing. Okay. I do truly think that there's markets are markets, man. They're just going to keep moving like that. And I'm actually going to throw this warning out there. What is currently beating Ethereum right now? Surprisingly, what is the meme chain? And next cycle, what's that coin cycle going to be? 3rd cycle. It's Solana. I think ultimately Solana right now, they're in their 2nd cycle, which means that obviously it's going to do well, just like all the other coins. Not as good as the 1st cycle, but next cycle is going to be its 3rd cycle curse. So a warning for everybody, you might want to think, if Bitcoin can't even escape that, you might want to think about holding Solana throughout the bear market or this next coming bear market. Not financial advice.
So I got a question for you guys. This just popped into my head because, so I asked this question and I want to preface it with this. I had made this statement earlier, and this is just this is the case. So for the first time ever in this past bear market that we had in 2022, Ethereum had bottomed 6 months prior to Bitcoin. So June or July 2022, Ethereum found its bottom, right? November of 2022 is when Bitcoin found its bottom. But Ethereum still stayed above its low for that cycle.
It's because of FTX. Just FYI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Are we in a scenario right now where Bitcoin still rules the market? Obviously, Bitcoin still rules the market. All right, let me get this question out before you guys make any answers. All right. Is it possible that we could see a double top for Ethereum while seeing a blow off top for Bitcoin? Is that something that is possible? Or okay, no.
I'm going to say not likely. If Bitcoin doesn't
Okay.
double top, then ETH won't do the same.
Okay.
Won't do that.
Gotcha.
Not versus the dollar anyway.
Gotcha. Okay. And why do you think we're in that position? Is it just it's still status quo? Bitcoin is the king. Is that the reason why?
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Like,
Yeah.
no other asset actually really appreciates more than Bitcoin. If you look at the Bitcoin pairings, they're all wrecked versus Bitcoin. You're going to get spurts of assets, going on runs against Bitcoin, and it just majority of the time you want your money in Bitcoin, in part and parcel because Bitcoin is. They're gonna do some things with Bitcoin. Actually, what's interesting? If you look at the gold chart, okay, it just broke out of a 70-year rising wedge pattern. Do you know that?
70 years? That's a long time.
70 years. Bitcoin, if you look at it in log scale, is actually in a massive rising wedge pattern, by the way.
Well, it's a newer asset, right? So as soon as it starts,
But it's also like if you look at a log, like you have the logarithmic growth curve, right? And you're saying diminishing returns, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at it on a log scale and you put it and you compare it to gold, it's interesting. Okay.
Are you able to show us? Because you're, the way you're kind of talking right now, like you've got me interested in this.
Yeah, Professor, I was going to say, like within the next couple minutes, if you want to start getting some charts together, because you had made mention earlier, if you want to show some stuff on the chart and stuff like that, we'll give you that opportunity.
Sure.
So while you go ahead and get that loaded up on your end, just a shout out to the chat. If you guys want to join in on the conversation, feel free. You guys hit the link that is in the public chat right now. You guys come on in. If you guys can be on webcam, that's phenomenal. If you guys aren't on webcam, it's not a big deal. We're just going to ask that you sort of show our producer behind the scenes just a quick flash of the webcam just to make sure, nothing nefarious is going to pop off, making sure everything's appropriate and stuff like that. But if you guys want to hop in, feel free to hop in. We'd love to get some more voices and some more conversations going. Professor, you good to go with some charts?
Yep. We're going to cover the others chart first because he asked about that. Yeah.
That works. So whenever you want to share, Cassie will go ahead and throw it up on screen.
All right. So here's your others chart. I would say it's right on schedule, to be honest with you, or pretty much on schedule, maybe within the last maybe month or so from the last.
Yeah,
cycle.
I feel like we're a little bit late right now.
It's fine. It's fine. But that's you know why it's fine? Because Bitcoin never in its previous chart history made a new all-time high before its halving cycle. So Bitcoin got a little bit heated, and it's a lot more bid than any other asset because of that. So yeah, Bitcoin takes the show.
Also, Ethereum is doing extra bad this cycle as well.
Right. So because
when you
we
include
had
that as well,
because we had, I actually kind of disagree with your third cycle curse thing, and I'll be showing you that here in a second. Why? So others chart. This is my projection. I don't know if we're going to get to the top of the channel, but if we do, it's clearly going to be a top. If we don't, and we just get to the golden mean ratio, or we get to the 1272 fib extension. That seems a little lackluster for a 4x maybe, but maybe we just get there. It depends how long this cycle goes or lasts. But I think we're going to see this cycle run till no different than other cycles, probably September, October, November of this year.
Yeah, I'd agree. My hit point is late October, and then my birthday in November.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and I don't think we're going to see double top stuff. I think we're going to get a parabolic run this cycle. And the reason being is I'll show you what the DXY looks like in a second, but it has a lot to do with how the dollar is right now. Okay, so we'll look at the ETH Bitcoin chart since we're talking about it. And for all you Pulse Chain guys, Pulse Chain's in its first cycle. Okay. Anyways, so ETH Bitcoin basically almost tagging the bottom, basically tagging the bottom of its range here. And this is a capitulation. When you get rounded curves like that, that's capitulation. Okay. And after you get capitulations, you get V-shaped recoveries. Like almost 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a V-shaped recovery. What does that look like? It looks like something like this, and it looks like that. Okay. It's going to be the most hated rally that people ever see in crypto because nobody's expecting it. And what did you hit? You hit a golden mean ratio on the nose. Okay, golden mean ratio on a mean reversion like that. So yeah, we could. Sounds crazy. We could see something nuts for ETH. Okay, I don't necessarily think we're going to get to the 1272 fib extension. It's just probably doesn't happen this cycle. Maybe next. But I think we get maybe close to the 886 fib extension, or maybe higher. And the reason being is because of how wrecked your monthly RSI is. You've never been this oversold in your history. And to me, this is like a massive falling wedge pattern on the RSI. Okay. So it's like the slingshot at an oversold, and you're probably going to get to the top of this trend line on the ratio. But it'll probably be a higher ratio than 0.09. Probably.
What do those figures come out to? Give the people some hopium.
So this is the hopium. Okay. It's actually almost like an XABCD wave structure is what it is. It's like a big butterfly.
That's exactly what I see right now as a butterfly. That's exactly what I see.
That's what it is. It's a butterfly. That means ETH is going to go on a massive, massive, massive tear against Bitcoin is what this means. Whether this runs into another cycle or whatever, because this is like, how many years of chart data here? This is like almost 9 years of chart data. But as soon as you end up breaking kind of this trend line right here, and if you go from the bottom, this is a double bottom. If this bottom's here, this is like a double bottom. So a double bottom to the neckline is a 339% move once you break the neckline, which puts you, wow, would you look at that? It's like TA Tetris, brings you right to the 1272 fib extension. I don't know that we're going to get, if we don't break this neckline, we don't do this move, right? We have to break this neckline and make a high time frame candle closures above it to make this measured move, right? We may only do half this move, but then brings us to about close to this 15% of a Bitcoin. I was thinking versus dollars, if we get an exuberant run like a blow off top type of thing, I was thinking around $20,000 ETH. That'd be my target. Okay.
You know what? Okay, so what's wild about that is in the SAC funds, if we hit 7,100 in ETH, the SAC wallet will have $1.2 billion worth of ETH to pump into Pulse Chain. So if you hit 14 or even $21,000 ETH, bro, oh my God, 3.6 billion.
So
what?
Yeah, so I mean, just so you guys know, the first cycle for ETH, this was its first cycle. It did 1,000,000%. Okay. Just so you guys know what that is, that's 10,000x. Hex last cycle did a 5,000x, right? On its first cycle.
First cycle 10,000x.
That's what ETH did on its first cycle.
Huh.
All right. And this trend line right here is pretty exuberant. It's pretty. I would say this is pretty reliable, because if you look at it, you had this is the bear market capitulation low. You made a low, made a rally. You rallied right into the trend line, pulled back, made your double bottom. This is the COVID low. Then we trended below this trend line until the bull run. We broke it, and now we're using it as support. And so, to me, this is like a channel. So you had range deviation here during your bear market, and you didn't have range deviation here, which means this is actually a lot stronger than what it was back here, because you didn't have range deviation. So I think you still trade within the bounds of the structure, which I guess the 1618 is like right around 13K. But if Bitcoin goes on a run and it breaks 170K, we could probably see like a $400,000 Bitcoin if that happens. Just FYI, $450,000 or something like that.
That's a hell of a lot of hopium.
If we break 170K, all right. If we don't break 170K, then that's the end of the cycle, I would say. So that's like a double up from here. Meaning that's why it's more attractive for people to roll Bitcoin for ETH right now, because ETH has a lot more upside versus the dollar than Bitcoin.
So much more upside. It's like got a ridiculous amount of upside.
It does. It does indeed. Let me go and show you what the US dollar index looks like real quick, because this is important. I don't know if you realize this, but while
you're talking about this, can you explain a little bit about the dollar index versus cryptocurrency, and what's the relationship between the two?
Sure. I'll show you. Okay. January 2017 was the top for the dollar. This top here. This was your 2017 blow off top right here. This whole move down on the dollar was the crypto 2017 blow off top. January 2018, that was the top of the crypto market, right?
This is really interesting. So, all right. And then does this also include like the money printing as well? And then that's why
this is just the dollar index.
Oh, okay.
This is just the US dollar versus other fiat currencies, okay?
Okay.
So this is just the index of the dollar. We'll get to that.
Is this saying the more the dollar depreciates in value, the more Bitcoin or the more cryptocurrency will increase in value? Is that the correlation there?
So it's directional. So when the dollar goes down, all the US dollar pairings go up.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. So 2018 was Jan 2018 was your bottom on the dollar, which happened to be the end of the crypto bull market. And this was your bear market. Right. And what's this? This is March 2020, the COVID crash, right? Boom. That was a top on the dollar, retest top of the range. That was your second low. So you made a low, and then you made your second low. So your first low was actually somewhere in here in 2019. And then we made some crazy run because it was oversold. We got up to like 14K, and then we topped out, right? We topped out, and then US dollar index topped out here during the COVID crash. That was our second bottom that we made, double bottom. And then we went on another rally. This was Bitcoin in 2021. This is when your alt season started, okay? December 2020 or January 2021 is when your alt season started. So this is the end of the cycle. And if you notice where the dollar is at the bottom of the range, okay? So let me explain a little bit further.
Just real quick, I just want to throw something out there. For those in the audience, we don't really timestamp, so make sure you guys understand this thoroughly. All right, understand it thoroughly, that when the dollar starts to depreciate or when the dollar starts to come down, you'll see a correlation with other assets, other fiat and crypto increasing as well. We're talking about that right here. But yeah, 102, 103 on the timestamp. If you guys want to go back and rewatch this portion a little bit slower, but go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So this was the start of your 2021 altcoin run into March of 21, which the dollar made a move off the lows, and that was actually our first top in March or April of 2021, right? Please confirm that.
Okay, so is this following the rates? Because
It's following the rates, yes.
Okay.
The U.S. 10-year and the dollar kind of move together. Okay?
Yes.
So
yes.
What did you want confirmed real quick? I apologize.
March, April of 21 was the first. I would say that was the end of the cycle for Bitcoin.
Yes. So that was the technical top. That was when the volume was the highest, but it wasn't necessarily the price was the highest.
Perfect.
So March and April, that's when it was like all beacons were indicating, hey, this is the top. But then, we went through the summer and then there was a rebound, but
let me show you that. Let me show you
the
that
volume
too.
was significantly lower in the fall and in the winter of 21.
So this was
Were
your
you
top.
saying 21 or 20?
21.
21.
21.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. We had 3 months of the dollar index going up, but we also had 3 months of altcoins going nuts. Right. And then the dollar hit resistance. That happened to be our top of Bitcoin. And then the dollar pulled back and made a technical double bottom. That was in June of 21. And that's when we had that big pullback in the crypto market. It was actually following the dollar, actually, because it's towards the end of the cycle. It kind of starts to correlate more so with the dollar index at the end of the cycle, if you notice. Okay. In June of 21, dollar bottoms out, crypto market bottoms out, right? And then what? We get our run into about November, which is resistance here.
Correct. That's what people think. Yeah, that's what people think was a distribution top as opposed to a blow off top that we had seen in the past.
It was a double top. Yeah, technical. Okay. Yeah. So this is when crypto market topped out, and then they started to eventually increase rates, right? And that's what accelerated us into this bear market. And you can see the dollar breaking out, right? Dollar breaking out, crypto going down for all these months. And then October of 22 was what? That was the bottom, right?
Technically, it was November of 22. That was the bottom.
Okay. Well, October 22 is when DXY gave us a reversal on the monthly chart.
You are correct where there was a huge dump, though, specifically in October going into November, though.
So
that made that.
This is just giving you an idea. Okay. If you're looking at this and you're seeing dollar top out, it's usually the bottom for the market. Like if you were buying Bitcoin in October, I'm sure long term you're making out really well. Just saying.
Yeah, for sure.
You're buying $20,000 Bitcoin. That's good.
Yeah, and it's looking like it's starting to trend downward now currently.
So check this out. Monthly candle, a doji reversal candle. All right. We want to see follow through. Okay. If we see follow through, then guess what the dollar just did? A swing failure pattern. Okay. And if we go to the monthly, we look at some oscillators. All right. You can see that we're rejecting the bullish control zone here at 60. Well, we're technically in the bullish control. The dollar's bullish. Okay. Dollar's bullish. Right. But we're rejecting 60 right now on the monthly. And on the weekly chart, you can start to see that it's losing momentum, losing some steam, even though today we got that pump or whatever with the CPI. But actually, because the CPI is higher, that means risk assets should continue to perform because inflation is good for risk assets. Okay. So we got that fucking little fake out dump. Everyone's like, oh, the Fed can't cut rates. Okay. Oh, well, let's just keep buying. Inflation's going higher. It means our dollars are still worthless. Great. Continue on. Okay.
Yeah. One of the most important things to understand is that in 2017, the biggest alt season of all time, the rates were higher, and it was also Trump, right? And then all of a sudden they cut rates, infinite QE, and we have
that effed up our cycle in 2021.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And now we're scarily, where are we at right now? Higher rates and Trump again.
So this is kind of what I'm saying. Okay. I think this is actually going to be a blow off top type of rally. I think what's going to happen is I think the dollar for the next like month or so, the dollar is going to be like trying to rally and stuff and trying to push. But what's going to happen is the dollar is actually probably going to come back down at least to the bottom of this range. Okay. I'm not saying we're going to end up losing this low because the dollar is still the strongest, arguably still the strongest fiat currency. Okay. Especially under a Trump administration. Go look at the Canadian dollar. Things wrecked. Go look at any other dollar. They're all just wrecked. Okay.
You should look at the Japanese dollar.
That's actually probably starting to do well if they're raising rates, by the way. It's probably going to start to do well.
Oh boy. Well, finally, it's been dumping for a while. It's been.
Anyways, yeah. So we got some levels here. We're looking at on the dollar. This is a support here. We had this rectangle. We broke out. This was us crashing or us dumping. The altcoins were dumping. We notice Bitcoin was holding. Bitcoin said, I don't believe you, dollar. This is BS. We're going to hold the line. Why? Because you got all the major institutions buying it. There's constant buy pressure on Bitcoin with the ETFs. You got nation states trying to buy this shit now. This is a whole different ballgame for Bitcoin this cycle. Okay. It isn't for the other assets. Okay. The other assets are, in my opinion, they don't give an F about them. They just care about Bitcoin. That's it. Okay, cool. That's your dollar index. What else did I want to look at that I was talking about? Anyways, this is also really important. So this is the Bollinger Band. And every single time you get monthly deviations, aside from this rate hiking cycle here, but when you get monthly deviations like this, these usually mark local tops. So we got that deviation here. We printed a monthly doji, which is usually a reversal candle, or it's an indecision candle actually. After you broke a range. I mean, some could argue like, hey man, maybe we just pull back to like, 106 and then it just rallies. Could, because the high time frames are bullish. But the quarterly chart's telling me something different. There's no like big squeeze. We were in a huge squeeze here during the bear market. Every single time we put in these early buy signals, these actually happen to be tops in the crypto market or close to tops in the crypto market, which we're not doing that right now. So I think this trends down. We eventually go to bottom Bollinger Band, and that ends up having to be the top of the market for all markets, not just crypto, probably. S&P also, indices also.
Good stuff. You got any more charts you want to show?
Shall we show some pulse chain stuff?
Yeah.
I had charted the pulse maker token. I think this is going to be a pretty crazy run for this asset. So yes, I'm long a bunch of the P maker on pulse chain. Nice falling wedge pattern. Infancy asset. ERC20 is trading around $1,000 today. PRC20 trading around $20 with a 200K in liquidity. So you guys know what happens, right? Every single time liquidity doubles on a pool, the price 4x's. So like,
correct,
isn't gonna take much liquidity to get this thing to $1,000, like at all.
Yeah, they were talking about that with the purple Bitcoin, the P wrap Bitcoin.
Yeah,
same thing.
I got a bunch of that too. So on my other channel, not on my Swing Trade Pros channel, I made another channel for some reason because I was like a little upset with my business partners at one point. But it was in May of 24, and wrap Bitcoin was $80, and that's when I started buying it. And I gave a price projection in that video. I said wrap Bitcoin was going to go test its liquidity wick at $2,600. It was in a massive triangle pattern. And I could send you the video. You can watch it. It's pretty interesting. It was just a huge technical setup. And, well, I think it touched $2,600 in November of this year. Or last year, rather. But yeah. So P Maker here. Massive falling wedge pattern. The technical move is back to $80, but I think what ends up happening is a blowout. I don't think it's gonna just stop there. I think it's actually gonna probably run to like $180 on this break because it's kind of going parabolic. I don't know if you can kind of see that on this. Can't really see that on this chart, but and then I don't know if you guys know about Teddy Bear, but I'm a pretty big bag holder of Teddy Bear.
Yeah, I got quite a bit of Teddy Bear as well.
Yeah, I'm sitting on like almost a T of those. So here's your parabolic curve for Maker. And these are your ranges here. You can see a higher low, double bottom, and rally, and then now pull back right to the parabolic, right to the parabola, with your 3-day giving you a buy signal, and nice falling wedge pattern. It's just not beautiful structure. And the other one that I really liked here was Gnosis. What I've been doing is rolling a lot of my Bitcoin into these PRCs because I think they're all going to outperform Bitcoin. Despite it going to peg right away, or it's not going to go to peg right away. It's going to take some time. But if you look at Gnosis versus Bitcoin, because I've been trading or rolling, it's a massive descending broadening formation on the weekly time frame on the ratio with a weekly bullish divergence. And this looks beautiful. This is like textbook type of stuff on the chart. So this is telling me that Gnosis, while wrap Bitcoin appreciates in value versus the dollar, this is going to outperform whatever wrap Bitcoin's move is by 4x. Okay. So if wrap Bitcoin goes to, 10K on this move, which is like a 10x or 12x, this thing's doing a 30, 40x move against Bitcoin.
Nice. So you got some slingshot leverage on that.
That's slingshot leverage. Yes, sir. Yeah, I can go through all these all day. I have like a bunch of these assets, but yeah, you guys let me know. I don't want to kill your guys' stream with my boring charts.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the truth about this is oftentimes a lot of people that can start kind of losing hope, right? Especially when you've been dealing in so many red candles for a while. And it's like it finally starts going up, and then kind of like what's happening on Twitter. Why do you guys have to keep selling on these green candles, right? What you're providing right now is hopium, but it's not just hopium of, I think it's gonna go to like $5.55, for the memes, Hex or whatever. You're going through, hey, based on actual science in the charts here, this is what I'm seeing, and this is what I think should happen if the chart is going to continue to be a good chart, right? And something bad doesn't happen, like the dev rugs it, something silly like that. That's the type of thing that people absolutely need to hear. And even though you can get some boring charts sometimes, which I'm definitely not a TA guy, so a lot of like what you say kind of confuses me. I can see the patterns, and in seeing those patterns, that gives me a lot of hope as well, and I can at least understand that. So for people out there, it is vitally important that you do, at the very least, just kind of check and see the direction and the patterns that he's pointing out, even if you don't actually understand specifically what it is he's talking about when he's saying like triangles and patterns and stuff like that, right? But you can kind of see right here what is going on.
So this is eHex. And there's a guy on Twitter like earlier, like a few weeks ago. I guess he found me on my old YouTube channel, and he found a video I did on Hex before I called it out before it went on this massive run. And he posted on Twitter, and he was like, yo, where is this guy who called out Hex before it went on its run? And Chris from Degen Protocol was like, yo, he hangs out in our channel, in our group. And so eHex right now is a descending, broadening formation. These, when they break out, this is a 2-week time frame. We can go to the monthly. It's the same chart. These, when they break out, they go to the tops of their structure to complete their pattern. So what I'm sitting here telling you is that eHex is going to do a 78x move in the next year. Okay, or whatever, 10 months.
At the very least, too. It sounds about right to me.
So I'm holding EHEX and I'm going to trade it to the top of the pattern. Okay. And and the reason why I know that is, well, not only the structure, but the monthly stochastic RSI just crossed bullish on the monthly, and the price hasn't really done much of anything yet. So you got huge monthly momentum swinging up into a massive pattern. I can show you a similar pattern on a stock that is similar. It's the same thing, same chart pattern. Actually, it was a falling wedge, but it's the same type of momentum. Okay, I don't know if you know about the stock Upstart, but I call this thing out at $13, and it was just a big falling wedge pattern. Okay, and if you look at the monthly, it's similar. It started its momentum here, okay, and it went bullish. But what happened was, I mean, it's a little bit different of a structure. I'll say it's not a descending broadening. It's a falling wedge. But falling wedges do the same thing. They eventually resolve their patterns to the all-time high before a major pullback, and then you maybe form like a cup with handle for your next move. But it's similar because I have enough data to show a monthly chart. A lot of charts don't have that type of data, especially cryptos. Like they're so new. Right. But Hex has that data. And when you have that data, you can strategize to take a lot of risk down at the bottom of a structure like that. Okay. Like I'm sure a lot of whales, a lot of big money sees this stuff if they know what they're doing, and they're taking max risk down here because, well, it's the lowest risk area on the chart. Not financial advice.
Dang. So for the people at home, can you give us sort of your prediction or your overall what you think is going to happen this year in the greatest altcoin season super cycle that has ever happened?
Dude, Hex is about to go fucking nuts. Do you see this? Okay, I'm sorry, but do you see the squeeze on this chart?
Yeah.
Okay. It hasn't even broke the pattern yet. Once this breaks, it's going to go nuts. We just got a weekly cross. So in like 2 weeks, leading up to the next 2 weeks, this thing's just going to start popping out green candles like 40%ers every day.
I like it. That's good stuff.
That's wild. You
All
said
right.
the next 2 weeks?
It's going to start now.
Jesus Christ.
Professor,
Man.
did you want to give some sort of macro, I guess, expectations or what you're thinking is going to happen, towards the end of the year on anything specific?
With what? Specific asset?
Yes, like anything. Bitcoin, Ethereum, any hunches, anything that you feel strong conviction on?
Well, I posted this chart on TradingView. I don't know if any of you guys follow me here, but I posted this on September 11th of 2024. And I think the structure is still intact. I don't think anything's changed. In fact, I called this bottom. We rallied up to the top of the structure. We just came back down to the bottom of the structure. So I think this pattern's still intact. And so I think the measured move is, anywhere from 7 to maybe up to 12. If Bitcoin does break 170K, then we're looking at maybe a $20,000 ETH if that happens. Okay, so conservatively $77,000 for ETH, conservatively 150 to 170,000 for Bitcoin, and more aggressive targets are just higher Fibonacci levels. That's all.
So if Bitcoin hits 240, 250, somewhere close to there, what do you think ETH could hit at that point?
Yeah, like 10 to 12K.
10 to 12? Okay, that sounds about right. Yeah. I've heard a lot of people in doing the charts, in fact, myself, just taking that same type of method that I was talking about where, you just diminishing returns. If last cycle was a scam cycle, then if you take, maybe there's not diminishing returns this time around, right? And instead you just take that percentage amount to the top, or what should have been the blow off top, right? You just take that same percentage amount, copy it over to current, and we sit at we sit at 240, which is kind of interesting to me because I know, Josh, you created a chart yourself that also charted up to 240. And I've heard a lot of other people in doing charts, a lot of different methods.
Oh my god,
all
you guys
reaching
want to
for, like-
see something fucking crazy? Sorry.
No, don't worry about it, bro.
This to me is
Roundtable,
the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen anything like it. Wrap Bitcoin PDAI, okay, went to 108,000 PDAI on the ratio before actual Bitcoin went to 108K. Do you guys know that?
You're talking about the rate? Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Yeah, because if PDAI was technically $1, I could see that. What? That's actually
Let me
wild.
show you something crazy. And this, in that 250 to 280 range, it lines up with the top of the range on the PDAI ratio to Bitcoin. So let's take a look, see, shall we? This is a tropa. I don't want a tropa. I want DAI.
So what we're gonna do while you're pulling this up, we're gonna go ahead and go over this, and then we're gonna give some final thoughts, and then we're gonna go ahead and sign off for the night.
Sounds good. I don't know why you guys would ever sign this off. This is probably I'm just kidding. No.
I would take that as you like us.
Okay. All right. So this is the Wrap Bitcoin DAI ratio, which currently resides at 73,000, which means that Wrap Bitcoin's a buy over PDAI based on the price of actual Bitcoin, which is trading around 97K. So it's at a slight discount. Okay. Cool. So take a look. Bitcoin PDAI ratio hit 109K in November. Okay. That day was November 26th. And actual Bitcoin hit 109K. Looking at a weekly chart here. It didn't even hit it here. Okay. It hit it here. I don't even know if it went to 109K. It went basically there in January. It front ran it by 2 months, that price. Yeah. Next up here is, check this out. So the top of this range against DAI is at 280,000 PDAI ratio to Wrap Bitcoin. I think that's where that ratio tops out. And I think by that time, Wrap Bitcoin will probably be pegged to Bitcoin.
Okay, so you do realize what this looks like at this point. This looks like a literal like inversion of the dollar to Bitcoin currently. This is
the PDAI ratio.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you were to like just reverse it, like if you took the ratio of the dollar and Bitcoin, right? You turned it on its head, so all the green candles are technically red candles, and then you like just flipped it. You flipped the months.
It's this.
Right.
It's just this, but this is the dollar pair of Wrap Bitcoin. Not the pegged version currently with the current liquidity.
Exactly. But if you were to imagine that it was pegged, right? It's kind of like it's flipped. The dollar itself has been flipped over like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the range of like the months was reversed.
Yep.
Flipped again like that. That is creepy as all hell, man. That's weird. There's no way that is on purpose. And you know what's interesting is this is something that Sami keeps saying like over and over and over and over is he keeps saying that the PDAI chart is a 100% Richard Hart chart based on the way that it's looking like. So that means that if he was actually doing that, that means that like if this is all on purpose, Richard Hart is almost like trying to speak through the movements of that ratio of Bitcoin and what should be the dollar P die, right? If it were to peg, that's creepy.
I'm telling you right now, I don't think
Wow.
this ratio goes any higher than 280K this cycle.
All right, good stuff. Let's
That's wild.
let's go. Yeah, let's go ahead and put some final thoughts on it.
I still think the most creepy thing was that it preluded Bitcoin's top move at 108K.
Yeah. See, that's the reason why it almost makes it credible to look at the time range of when it hits 280K and try and reverse it, kind of like this, flip it back over to where we're at now. There might actually be something there.
I like it. All right, Professor. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
No, I'm done. I was just
okay.
This to me just means that Bitcoin could wick up to like 250 to 280K, even if it doesn't make it past there. Like the 170 level is like you should be offloading your Bitcoin, even if we end up spiking to 250. Right? Yeah.
Agreed.
I like it. All right, good stuff. Professor, where can the folks find you? And tell a little bit about the community that you have and stuff like that.
I'm on YouTube, Swing Trade Pros. I have a Discord community. It is mostly a paid community. I mean, there's free channels and stuff, but I don't really post that much stuff. I'm a pretty busy guy. If I'm going to post stuff, it's to the people that are paying for my time. And I give, there you go. I gave them the ink trade. There you go. And I just fully disclose like the assets that I'm trading and, some of my P&L and, different assets. I do cryptos and stocks. And I have a Discord channel here. People sign up on the website, swingtradepros.com. Either they want trading tools or they want my trade alerts. Sometimes maybe they want time with me, consulting call to discuss their portfolio and how to manage it and stuff like that. I do actually do consulting for some hedge funds. I'm not going to disclose who, but yes.
Definitely BlackRock.
No.
I'm joking, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it.
Good deal. You got anything big coming up in the near future or any projects you're working on?
One of the guys I'm working with is trying to automate my chart drawings into some AI stuff. Because I mean, especially like my wedge patterns, they're and these descending broadening formations that I chart usually play out a good 70 to 80% of the time with high time frame confirmations like that, like the Hex chart and that upstart chart you guys saw. He's trying to, I don't know how he's going to do it, but basically whenever I draw something on TradingView, it'll be like recording the drawings that I make and recording that data into like a database so that he could automate some of the stuff, some of the trading stuff.
So what he's trying to do is he's trying to create your brain only in robotic form.
Yep.
And so he's going to have you basically teach the bot how to draw these things, what to look for. And then what he's going to be able to do at that point is he's going to be able to just let it loose on checking over charts. And whereas, I mean, how many charts could you accurately chart in one day, do you think? If you were like really going hard at it, you didn't eat or sleep or anything?
Probably a lot, dude. I don't know. Probably a lot. Yeah. Probably thousands. Hundreds. I say hundreds. Yeah.
Hundreds? Okay. Yeah. So this robot or this AI will most likely be able to 10x whatever it is that you're able
My
to work.
capacity is, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's kind of what he's trying to do. And he might turn it into an automatic buy sell type of bot. So it basically, you give the bot $1,000 and say and turn it loose and go, all right, go make money.
he told me he's gonna call it the Node AI algo. Yeah.
That's freaking awesome, dude. You got to keep us up to date with that because that sounds great.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to let him do it, man. My brain is precious. Fuck that. I don't want some AI stealing my knowledge.
I like it. Good stuff. Hey, Cass, real quick. Before we go any further, let's do one final round of chat shout outs. And then we'll go ahead and go forward with closing the show. So if you want to go ahead and get those pulled up, we'll do one last round of chat shout outs. So shout out to Funkmaster Hex, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Good evening, Funkmaster Hex. Good to see you, my man. Next up, we got iClick Buttons. They have been tracking real ratios for months. All right. Do you guys know what he's talking about?
He's talking about the wrap Bitcoin die pairing. Pretty sure.
Okay. Gotcha. Sounds good. All right. Next up, we have, let's see, what do we have here? We are Crypto Black Sheep with the fire emojis. Shout out Crypto Black Sheep. Good to see you, my man. Next up, we got Lee Colifa. I don't know. I'm butchering that name. We're going to go with Lee with the 199 super chat. Shout out Jesus Coin TA, ETH contract ending E70. I have no idea about the Jesus Coin. Do you guys have any idea about that?
It's a newer coin. Basically, it's just a meme coin. Looks like he's playing around. He's playing around on Ethereum. Why are you on Ethereum, bro?
Okay.
You should be over on Solana.
Gotcha. So here's what we're gonna do because he gave a super chat. We're gonna finish the super chats. Professor, do you mind just doing a quick TA on that one real quick?
Jesus Coin.
Yeah, Jesus Coin.
Is it
contract ending in E70?
Jesus.
Yeah.
On ETH. Yep.
All right. If you can look that up, we'll go ahead and keep rolling through them. If you can't find it, you can't find it. But
okay, I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
All right. Cool.
Excellent.
All right. Next up, we got Crypto Black Sheep again. Great stream, dudes. We appreciate it, bro. Appreciate the shout out. Last but not least, we have Frank White. Bang bang, Degen gang. I like it. Shout out Frank, and then Hex Glenn with the thumbs up. Big shout out Hex. Good to see you. All right, Professor, let's go ahead and do that TA real quick, and then we're going to go over to Cass, and then we'll go to Nate to go ahead and close it out. So what are you seeing on Jesus Coin?
Well, if it has any viability, it's back at the bottom of its range. Yeah, your weekly kind of trying to start a tick up here. 3-day giving you a buy signal. Looks like the bottom for this asset, I would say. Looks very low risk down here. It's about as bottom as you're going to get. You might have even range deviated slightly below when it opened, which is fine. But that means you could just end up pumping to like the trend line. I mean, if you end up breaking the trend line, then that's good news. But you're doing like $5 of trading volume, and there's 15K in liquidity. I don't know. Yeah, I probably wouldn't really want to touch this thing. But yeah, I mean, it's technically giving you some buy signals.
Gotcha. Sounds good. All right, appreciate that input. That input. Cass, I want to come over to you. Any big announcements? Anything you got coming up? And what can the channel look forward to in the next couple weeks?
All right. So I don't really have anything too much coming up other than the Pulse 369 event that we talked about earlier in the stream. As for the channel, though, we do have a special guest. The date is to be confirmed still. I know we mentioned doing it on the 19th, but he's a little bit iffy on that because he does have a different stream he normally does on Wednesdays. So we are still figuring that out, but that will be happening soonish, hopefully within the next week or so. This Friday on Book Club, we are doing Pirate Money, which is actually a crypto book, and about 4 hours on Audible. So pretty quick, pretty easy, especially if you are able to, like Zenith, do the double time on it. I'm planning to go through that one again because I did go through it on double time, but I want to get, now that I have like time, dig more into it because I'm not a big crypto person. So, you know, hopefully I'll get some more insight and have some more to add to the conversation, 2 days from now. And yeah, that's about it. Nate and I are really excited to go to Vegas. Like we talked about earlier. Hang on one sec. We've never been there before, so it's going to be really cool to see it and just explore it. Probably won't do too much gambling, at least not this time. But we'll be hanging out with the rest of the crypto crew. I think we've got more than 90 people coming at this point. I'm not sure the total numbers, but it's going to be a good time. There's going to be a lot of people we've already met, a lot of people, new faces as well. So that's going to be really cool. Really looking forward to that. And that's all I got. Go ahead and take us out, Josh.
Good stuff, Nate. What you got coming up, man?
Not too much. I'm just gonna. I got a few ideas for videos. I'm gonna be placing down. I got to redo my my alt waves video because, like I said, it didn't really work out the way I wanted to. Just better to just redo it, especially with the way the market is moving right now. So yeah, I got a bunch of videos coming out. A lot of ideas on what I can do with them. With that being said, yes, sir, I am enjoying the hell out of these green candles, man. And you know what? I'm rich as all hell right now because we had one green candle day. That's awesome, right? So with that being said, I'm going to absolutely enjoy and have a great time with all of y'all down in Vegas. We're going to have a great time down there. Here's the important thing you need to understand about these types of meetups, right? These conferences is that when you actually meet people face to face, there's just a different experience altogether. Now you can go ahead and you can, like we're hanging out right now, right? Right, guys? We're having a good time. But if we were like in the bar together and we're sitting there hanging out, rich as all hell because, alt season wave 1 is happening, then it'd be a hell of a lot more fun. You can create more memories and you get more of a bond and you just want to do better in life overall. And that's why we need to be ascending at all times. And so with that being said, follow my Twitter over, I got it right there, my X account, SendingMan369. I've also got my own YouTube channel that, it's shorter time videos, right? So it's not like you have to go through 2 hours of a video. I kind of just lay these ideas out in a good 5 to 10 minute video, get it all the way through. It gives you something to kind of chew on, maybe take a look at. And if you decide you want to take the knowledge and run with it, go right ahead. That's why I put it out there. And if you want to reject it, you could also do that as well. So excellent on you guys. I love you all. And thank you for joining us tonight. This has been absolutely fantastic. Professor Know-It-All, you are a wizard. Nothing else to say.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yep.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, for sure. We appreciate you popping on and hanging out. Cash, you can go ahead and get the end credits ready. You guys can find me on Instagram, on Twitter at Avenge the Fallen. Just replace the E's with 3s. That's all you got to do. It's right there. You guys can see it right. Hold on. Where are we at? Right here. There we go. Avenge the Fallen. Replace the E's with 3s. Instagram and Twitter. I got vacation coming up this week. And then just laying low, waiting for the next couple streams to come out and sitting back, waiting for some good news to pop out. So I don't really have anything big coming up, but excited about the future, excited about what we're building here, and excited to see where we're going to be this time next year. So as Agent J likes to say all the time, we appreciate everyone's time tonight. The chat was absolutely on fire. It was absolutely on fire. We appreciate the feedback. We know everyone's time is precious. We know it's super valuable, so we appreciate everybody hanging out with us, whether you're catching us live, whether you're catching us on the replay. We thank you so much for the time that you put into just hanging out with us. So with that being said, everybody that's hanging out with us, we appreciate the time, and we want everybody to make sure that they degen responsibly. Everyone have a good night.